Hey guys, Joe here from Xbox Games. Check it out, we have more of the Adventure Force Water Strike line here. Now, if you guys remember in the past, we did actually a couple days ago, we did two of the blasters here, the Tsunami Blast as well as a Hydro Arsenal. If you guys haven't already, check those things out. Now, what's crazy about these is, we typically walk through our foam flinging section here at Walmart, and these were nowhere to be found, right? Because you're not shooting foam darts out of them. And we were walking through actually the pool section, and we're like, oh my gosh, wait, what is that? A square? Oh, and that's where we started seeing actually all of the Adventure Force Water Strike line. And I noticed, I was like, hey, I got that one. I got that one, and I'll pull it up here. I was like, oh, but I don't have that, and that. So I tried picking some of the blasters that I thought would be, kind of unique and maybe a little bit different from the blasters that we've had here previous. So just kind of keep that in mind. So we're going to hop right into this because, again, I'm not going to make a 20-minute video on these. I'm going to keep it down and sweet so you guys can say, okay, is this a blaster that you guys want to get? So let's hop right in and take a look at the box of all these. I'll quickly go over each, and then we'll go over a little bit of shooting so you guys can see how it is. So first things first. If we take a look at the Electric Surge box, now this is the only motorized water blaster from the Adventure Force Water Strike line that I'm aware of. It was the only one that was currently there. It was the only one I could eventually find online, but you could see the box. Kind of crazy, not too bad. It's very similar again to the Hydro Arsenal where it actually comes in a box, which is kind of crazy. And I did not know that this was electronic until I was like really looking at the box and I was like, oh, it says, yeah, motorized water blaster. Oh, okay. And I couldn't really tell where the batteries go when I was first looking at it, but still a very cool blaster. Now here, of course, we have the Hydroblast. Now, this Hydroblast is a big blaster, and this packaging comes very similar to how I see most of the other blasters, where they kind of tag it along on the bottom and just have kind of the little swooping piece over the top. And this blaster is pretty crazy, but still, you guys know my top, right? My top is still the Tsunami Blast right here, or the Tsunami Drencher. It's still, currently my favorite. Now, of course, they have the Triton here. But again, this one isn't too bad. And again, it just comes in that same kind of packaging, right? Just kind of has the bottom kind of stand for it, and then kind of that little looper that goes over the top. Now, what's crazy about all these blasters that we've done, again, the original ones here that we've done, the Hydro Drencher as well as the Hydro Arsenal, both of those have unique shooting styles. So if you guys are curious how much water it puts down range and all that, check it out. We go over all that so you guys can kind of see it. And each of these individual blasters here, water blasters, have unique shooting with them as well. They kind of shoot unique. They do things a little bit different. So let's first take a look at this one right here. So if we take a look at it up and close, it's a very cool design. Right? Got most of the weight in the back, or kind of the big bladder in the back there. It is definitely a lot bigger than that. And again, it kind of, kind of fills that little bit of a role. And then when I was like, oh, it's electronic, okay, it shoots up to 20 feet. All right, not bad, even though, of course, the Tsunami Blast goes up to like 50 feet, which is kind of crazy. And I was like, all right. So looking at it, I was like, okay, the handle, it fits pretty good. It fits good in the hands, whether you have a large adult hands like me or, again, kid hands are perfectly fine. And, just looking at it, not too bad. The fill kind of plug here is the same fill plug that they have on the other blasters. So filling it through a water or a garden hose, or if you just dunk it underneath the water, in your pool, you're perfectly fine. And yeah, for the most part, not too bad. It does take 4 double A's up on the top here. It took me a second to figure out where you put it. I'm like, does it go down here in the clip? Does it go somewhere else? Where is it going? So 4 double A's, which is again is about 6 volts. And I was figuring, yeah, with 6 volts, it's kind of the baseline. But, maybe someone would want to mod this thing and get it up to 9.6. I don't know. I have yet to look at the internals. So maybe going to like 9.6 will give it a little bit more juice to go like 30 feet. I don't know. But still a very cool blaster. Now let's take a look, yes, at the Hydro Burst. I always call it the Hydro Blast. But this particular blaster is it's large, and it has a very, very large top opening here, which we'll talk about in a second. But still, this, I think, is bigger than the Tsunami Drencher, probably by a little bit. I don't want to say too much, but definitely by a little bit in the way of volume. I think they do hold about the same amount of water. I do love the very durable kind of water bladders themselves, because I want to put a lot of water in these particular things, especially when I'm shooting. And yeah, I mean, the grip on this particular one is big. It's like, it's bigger than my big hand. So, little nerfer might like it, but hey, you never know. It still has ample enough room for multiple hand sizes. And again, the top up here, the way this one particularly opens, you have this big blue kind of door which just plops open and has a huge bladder in there. It is a lot. And again, I think it says on the package here how much it was. 48 ounces of water, which is a lot. So I like that. The bigger trough up there, being able to quickly fill this thing, go up to your, again, your pool or your bucket of water or your hose and just dump it in, clamp it back down, and be ready to go. This one, again, it shoots a little bit different, which we'll go over, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it. Now, the Triton is a little bit different. Again, the packaging, again, as you guys can kind of see, is the same packaging that we see, but this one has, what do they call it? Constant force water blaster. And I was like, what does that mean? And if you look at that front little gate in there, or that kind of plexiglass, it has this kind of spring in this O-ring. And I was thinking, oh, okay, you probably cock it in the front and then pull the trigger and then it pushes. That's what I was thinking it did. Very similar to the Hydroblast. I thought that's what it does. But no, this one's actually a little bit different. This one, the more you pump it, it kind of puts pressure so the stream keeps going. So you don't have to keep pumping it the whole time. You can do like 3 or 4 pumps, and then it's still, pushing water out. So you have about a second or 2 seconds to kind of, keep going. But we'll go over this particular blaster here in a second. Again, the overall look of this, not too bad. I think, again, having that kind of spring up there in the front, you're like, what? Well, that's all a little bit different. The big internal bladder, again, is very nicely built with a lot of water that can fit in here. And again, the cap fill right up there, the standard cap fill, right? Can you quickly go over it? So let's go over each of these blasters and what the difference is between them, and then we will go over the shooting and go from there. So let's talk about this one first. Let's talk about the Electric Surge right here. Gosh, man. Gosh, this I can't stress enough how I love just holding this like this. Now, again, at 6 volts, there's no pumping, there's no priming. All you really got to do is put in the 4 AA's up here and pretty much just pull the trigger, right? So let's show what this thing looks like shooting here really quick against my fence here. So you can hear it. I mean, you can hear the motors running or the pump running, however it's doing it up front. I have yet to take this apart. And, for the most part, yeah, we're about 15-ish feet away from the fence, somewhere right in there. And it shot right to the fence. Not massive water that is coming out, but still, I think it shot enough water downstream to be super annoying, especially if you're close. If you're within like 5-6 feet of somebody, I mean, it's just constant water coming out, and it's just going to get all over, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, come on. So it's definitely a cool little blaster because there is no pumping, right? You just go, you pull the trigger, and you shoot. Now, one of the things about this too is I feel like it's with, I mean, how big the internal bladder is on this. I mean, I was shooting for like 2, 3, 4 minutes, and I'm like, man, am I going to be coming close to the end of the life cycle of this water? And I was shaking it thinking, man, there is a lot of water still in there. And here's something strange. When I flipped this thing over upside down and I was shooting, I was getting a little more distance out of it, which I was like, what? That's all weird. So just kind of keep that in mind when you guys get this, that it's definitely not the farthest shooting water blaster we have. Again, it only claims up to 20 feet, but it's still the easiest, right? No pumping, no nothing. Probably give us a little kiddo or something like that and shoot. Now, when it comes to, again, the Hydroburst, this particular blaster is the biggest one that I've seen so far. So if we compare this thing kind of to the Hydro Drencher, again, right here, you could see the Hydro Drencher put some serious water downstream. And that one goes 51 feet. This one claims, again, what is it? 35 feet. So it's still pretty far, but this one works a little bit different. This one, you actually cock it, and now it's primed. And that's it. You can just wait, and then when you're ready to go, you pull the trigger, and then it kicks out. So it's a little bit different of a firing, and now that you can prime it and hold it and run around or do whatever you want to do, and then pull the trigger when the time is right. You don't have to pump it and keep going or pump it when you see your particular person. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at me firing this particular blaster here really quick against the wall. So again, about 15 to 20 feet away, nothing too crazy. You could see it puts a decent amount of water down on the fence. I mean, I think by source of volume, yes, this thing puts a lot of water on the target. Not as much as the Hydro Drencher or the Tsunami Drencher, but still, the Hydroblast here still, or the Hydro Burst, still puts a lot of water downstream. It is probably my second most favorite, right, out of all the water strike line that we've had so far. Now, let's take a look at the actual Triton. So the Triton here claims to go to 38 feet, which I was like, okay, it's a little bit longer than the Burst here. And still, I was like, pump handle, consistent force water blaster, what is that all about? I thought it was the same mechanism where you pull it and you just wait where you're ready, and then you pull the trigger, and then that spring kind of pushes everything forward in a constant manner. No, it's a little bit different. So let's pull this up here. You can see that what happens is when you pump it, that kind of spring constantly pushes the water. So the more pressure, if you just kind of pump it at a certain rhythm, perfect. That water is just consistent and then coming out. You don't have to, like, you know, keep pumping. You can pump it 3 times, and then you get about a second or 2 or somewhere right in there of kind of still water flow coming out. So then you can do another 3 pumps, go. Another 3 pumps, go. Another 3 pumps. So that's how this particular blaster works, is, I guess that's what they mean by constant force. So I don't know. I mean, with all the different kind of blasters here shooting different, I wish that they had an electronic blaster, or maybe they do. I just haven't seen it, or maybe they're going to come out with it, that, I don't know, is like 9.6 volts and, you know, shoots like the Tsunami Drencher. That would be insane, because that thing would just be nuts. Or have it like this one. I don't mind where I pull the trigger and shoot, and this would shoot just as much volume of water out. I like that. The Tsunami Drencher, I get it, is kind of it's kind of like the end-all drench blaster. But yeah, you know, out of these 3 blasters, I quickly wanted to go over them because, again, it is going to be summertime coming up here soon. And if it's anything like last summer where everything was sold out when summer came up, it was kind of like, oh, great, I'm not going to get it this summer because everybody bought it up knowing they're going to be home, right, for, you know, being on lockdown and whatever. So that's why I quickly wanted to go over these to say, okay, hey, if you see these at your local Walmart, or you guys are kind of curious about some toys you guys can kind of get before summertime hits without everything being sold out, I figured, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and show these things out. So again, out of all the ones we've done so far, I think these are all great blasters, all relatively cheap per se. I mean, nothing is breaking the bank, at least I don't think. And they all kind of provide a different purpose, right, depending on what they are. So let me know what you guys think of these 3 particular blasters. I was thinking about doing a video for each one of these, but I was like, no, man, they're just water blasters. We could jam this all into one. And I quickly just wanted to show you guys, right, what means most. You guys want to see them in use and see how much water they put on the target. That's kind of what I care about. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of these, or if you guys have had them or you've modded them, because I would like to kind of mod maybe the electric one. These other ones, I'm not sure how you can mod them to be any better. They shoot a lot of water downstream, right, already. Anyways, guys, definitely subscribe if you guys haven't already. Make sure you guys get in on the giveaways, right? We do a lot of different giveaways for some very cool blasters and things like that. Thanks again, Fox fans.